Welcome in to 11 Personnel, presented by our good friends at Monticello Bank. Oh no, this is bad. Luckett.
What's going on?
I don't have. It's not. Is my microphone? Oh no, this is bad. Is my mic?
I can hear
working?
you. I can hear
Is
you.
it this one? That one's working.
I can't tell. I'm not. What am I? I'm not.
You-
I'm not Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Who's the Balmer? I'm not Balmer. Don't have
You're
a
not
fake.
Balmer?
I don't have a fake company or whatever for my best player, so he can make an extra. So I can circumvent the cap that way.
Yeah.
Whatever he did.
I don't know why it's not. It's not. It was working and then it wasn't. So
Sometimes you have to. I have to log out and then log back in when I have mic issues.
Might have to do that. Yeah, that's not ideal. Well, talk for a second, Luckett.
Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Big episode of 11 Personnel today. Number 3, Andre Woodson, the apostrophe, as there used to be signs around Commonwealth Stadium. He's joining the show. Going to talk about his relationship with Cutter Boley and just kind of maybe some parallels between him and Boley and how they're Kentucky kids and become a starter and things really take off. Again, I think there is some unique parallels to Woodson and Boley, as Nick Roush might be back. Is he?
I don't know. It's. I mean, you can hear me. Obviously, I don't know if it's a good mic though, so we're winging it. But yeah, well, sounds good enough. So we'll make do.
Well, I have an update.
Yep, I have another update too.
Sir Pizza. The light is not fixed.
Oh no, it was 1 week only.
It's not flashing, but it's just not even on. It's poor light. Like it's darker than night. There, you can't. If you're gonna go to Sir Pizza tonight, you couldn't even see it because this light is out. So, 11 Personnel's one call. Our mission for this football season was to get this light fixed, and it's having a rough go of it. Like this light's having a 1-11 season.
The other, I mean, you would prefer that to it just being flashing all the time, right? Like you would rather have the light bulb just be out than flickering. So that's good news. I've got some more good news too. Monticello Bank, they were in 20. No, excuse me. Oh gosh, I'm rattled now. I got this all in my head. So they were in 14 counties with 20 locations.
There you go.
21 locations, 15 counties across the Commonwealth. Monticello Bank, it's growing, as Ryan Lemon would say. It's two things I know about Ryan Lemon. He says, "Did he really?" And he also says, "It's growing." Monticello Bank, fact, it is growing. It's a presenting sponsor of 11 Personnel, and it's where people matter. They wouldn't be in business for as long as they have if people didn't matter. So check them out. Bank Local with Monticello Bank. Got that additional location. And also, they're always live at nbcbank.com. Monticello Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And I do think you mentioned the other bit of news, too, that we got Andre Woodson joining us on the show tonight.
Correct. I sure did. Gave you a nice little promo, an intro into that.
We're kind of reverse engineering it. Like we're kind of like a normal show that is not us would, lead with the big interview and then you kind of do all the other stuff, right? You want to get the people locked in. No. We're not doing that. We're making you wait till the end. So, gotcha. But it was cool catching up with Andre. I'm sure you're going to love it. One thing that I really appreciate about Andre Woodson too, Luckett, he's a ball lover, is that when we got done chatting and I hit, the recording was over, like he just wanted to talk ball for like 10 more minutes. You could tell he did the coaching thing for a little bit and then realized like actually coaching sucks. Like this is not a life I want to live, but I still love football. Yeah. So going back and forth a little bit of that was a good time with he's awesome. Were you a freshman his 07 season?
That is correct. That was my freshman year at the old UK.
Oh, what a time. What a time. I'm sure many of classes were skipped back in 07.
Yeah, well, more than that year, but yes, that is correct.
Oh man. Well, let's talk other football, other things before we get to diving into Boley and Bush and everything else. Um, let's start with Mitch Barnhart. Right, that gives us something juicy, a nice little juicy word salad to start it all out. Because our action-packed Tuesday, it started with a Champions Blue LLC meeting, which those are getting less and less eventful, and that's probably a good thing. I don't think you need to, for the athletic department's sake, the more mundane it becomes, probably the better, I would think, to some degree. But still means he's going to chat with the media after each one of those meetings, and natural, like it's funny because the way that this was scheduled, it felt like that that little chit chat was going to go one of two ways. It was going to be Mitch really dancing around, I'm not firing him right now, but he's probably fired, to like, I'm not going to say he's locked in here for good, but I like where we're going. His exact quotes, when he was asked about the bowl game, he was like, that's not just a goal. That's something we expect to participate on a regular basis. We want to make sure we give back for that and experience again. They want to be a regular part of the college football playoff conversation. He said, sometimes you struggle a bit. You're working your way back up the mountain. You take steps. We're taking steps. We just want to continue to take steps. All right. That was like, all right, rings on fingers, diplomas in hands. But when he got asked point blank about, is this Mark's job if he wants it next year? He said, we've for decades plus, he and I have been together. We've journeyed through this thing before. We've been together a long time. He loves Kentucky. We love him. We just want to keep making progress and doing what we're doing. We always sit down at the end of the year, like we always do, and say, where are we? What are you thinking? What are we thinking? And we'll always get to that spot. I always do at the end of the year, and that won't change. I think that's important, Mr. Luckett, because even though that is correct, it's redundant, it will not change. We know that this is kind of how Barnhart operates with most of his coaches. Mark Stoops won a couple games. There's some other jobs that are saying, hey, Mark, we want you. He might go back to Mitch and say, hey, this is out there. I need this, or else I'm going to take that. That could be possible. So that's why Mitch didn't completely say, yeah, I can't wait till Mark's going to be here. He didn't, he's posed for that picture with Cal before. He knows how that could end sourly. And I do think that could very well be on the table, not just from a, like, Stoops is tired of this stuff, but more of a, like, I want to go to a place where I know I'm going to get the financial resources I need to build the roster I want to need to succeed. And they're not going to give me crap if I don't have that. And then I don't win 10 games, right? Get a fresh start, do this whole thing over with. So, like, I think that part is certainly on the table. But from a pure, we're letting his ass eat grass, that ain't happening, barring something catastrophic down the stretch, which it doesn't feel like the ball is in rolling in that direction any longer.
Right. It's not like a confirmation or a denial either way.
Yeah.
It was very bureaucratic answer from the longest tenured athletic director in college athletics.
He's done this.
But the most interesting part of his answer to me was, where are we? What are you thinking? What are we thinking? To me, like, let's see what the rest of the season, how it goes. What is Stoops thinking? What is Barnhart and Kentucky thinking? Are they expecting some changes? Are you right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how does that all play out? Again, like we talked about last week, Nick, to figure this out, you have to get in two individuals' heads.
That's easy, right? Just
So
probe them.
now, if you've got some, if you know some people in AI, maybe you can do it, but I don't. So I can't. It's hard to, handicap that. As we've kind of mentioned on KS Board, as we've been covering kind of everything going on, there are a lot of variables at play here. Like, I don't think it's as simple as if Stoops wins, beats one of Vanderbilt Louisville, he's back. Lock, still delivered, guarantee. Slap the guarantee on the box like Tommy Boy. Or I'm not gonna eat, or I'm not gonna buy the brake pad. I don't think it's as simple as that.
Shove your head up the horse's ass.
Yes. Yes. Rather stick my head up a T-Bone's ass. But that's just where we're at. So, like, I think a lot of different things can happen here, and you're just gonna have to ride the wave and see how it all plays out here at the end. But regardless, once they play that Louisville game, maybe even before then, Mitch and Stoops are going to have to sit down. Maybe it'll be in that same room where he's got the WWE title belt. And they're going to have to discuss where we're at, where it's going, and what needs to change, even if they went out. And that's just the deal right now. But the biggest thing, I don't think it's Kentucky's not writing that $37 million check now.
Yeah, that feels.
Mr. Wildcat is off the hook. Like, they don't have to go to the cat room and ask him to write the check. They figured out. They've gotten out of that at least. Where if there was a separation, I think it's not that.
Yeah, you would need something crazy. Like, they would basically have to lose out, and that where the team is right now, that doesn't feel possible. Now, I could be cold takes exposed to Bolivia right here, but it certainly feels like they've turned a corner from an execution standpoint. We're talking about Tennessee Tech in a little bit, but it would take a lot, I think, to lose out at this point, and yeah, that would suck. That would suck really bad, and it would be crazy. And oh man, the more I think about it, that would suck really bad. I don't want to think about that, Luckett. I want to think about a win on Saturday on Senior Day, because it is Senior Day. 25 seniors going through it. It sucks that Jordan Lovett is not going to be a part of it. I mean, and he's a guy who, they're sometimes left you wanting a little more, but still gave you plenty. He had multiple interceptions in 4 years throughout his career. That's impressive as hell. A steady player for a very long time. Really the last of that North Hardin pipeline. And it sucks that, you're entering the home stretch. Your team's finally playing good ball again. He saw some good, and then he experienced some really bad. And then now it's like, okay, we're finally getting back to the really good. I can be a part of this. And then he suffers a season-ending injury in the Florida game. That sucks. So he's out, and Sam Green is also out for the year. There's some other injuries we expect. No availability report this week because it's not an SEC game, but we're not expecting Alex Safari to play. Tavian Gadsden probably up in the air. DJ Waller probably up in the air. But those two injuries stink. You did get the chance to at least talk to the guys that will be replacing them. Was there? I've actually never talked to either player, so I'm fascinated to sit down and watch what they had to say later.
Yeah, we got to talk to Cam Dooley, Grant Godfrey today, Lorenzo Cowan. The most interesting part today to me, Nick, is that Godfrey and Dooley both talked about how important it is for them to get to a ball game. And I asked Dooley, I was like, is that something you're all talking about in the locker room? Like, getting to a bowl game. And he was like, yeah, well, I mean, we're keeping a 1-0 mindset, but we're trying to go out here, win some games. And then, we've got the Cutter Boley comments about Mark Stoops.
Oh, yeah. Multiple times. Double down
at post game. And
Yep.
then he went on SEC this morning with Chris Doring and Peter Burns, and basically, said they're playing for Stoops, and as short of an explanation as possible. We got Grant Godfrey did it today.
Oh.
And it's up on the site right now. If you go to my Twitter, you can Twitter account or
Did he
X
say the
account.
M word?
Did he say the? He did say the M word. He did drop a motivated on, and I'll read the quote right here. Pulling it up.
No, not mayo. He said motivated. Mayo. They might be eating mayo.
Yeah. So basically, I asked Godfrey, just you've been here for 3 years, Grant. Like, what's been the difference for you all in these recent SEC performances where you've held 3 offenses essentially to a touchdown, 1 touchdown? And he said, just the film, preparation, play every play like it's a game at practice, just running around, hustling to the ball. I would say the first few weeks, really, of the season, we weren't doing that. But when all that stuff getting mentioned of maybe Coach Stoops leaving or getting fired, I feel like it motivated us more to play harder, make that bowl game. We love Coach Stoops. We want him to stay, so we're just playing harder. I didn't ask about Stoops on the hot seat at all.
Yeah.
That just kind of came up a little unprompted. So, I mean, that's multiple times this week, different players. It's just notable. And Godfrey is similar to Cutter in that high school recruit, young player, multiple years of eligibility left. And, they've got transfers making impact, but there's more of players of that profile impacting the program right now. And that's been part of the issue here in the recent seasons. They've got more guys doing that and kind of stepping into what I would say would be future leadership roles. And Godfrey even said this, because I know there's concern like Cutter might leave for whatever reason.
Right.
He said, I can't wait to see what this offense, I can't wait for next year to see what this offense can be, because with Cutter, like, it's just really exciting with him, essentially.
So when we haven't done the every position breakdown, what it looks like moving forward yet. I mean, you just kind of got to take one bite out of the apple. But from my estimation, the roster's in pretty decent shape it's not like last year when we were having these talks and you're like, well, you need a whole new O-line, you need a whole new this, the whole receivers room. Like,
there's not going to be a purge like there was last year.
Yeah. Like, there will be some departures, but that, it's not going to be the mass exodus and then the mass arrivals that you need, right? Like, you're going to need a couple offensive linemen, certainly. Those will be a heavy price tag. You pay for the retention of Cutter Boley, but that costs less than what you paid for somebody on the open market, right?
Right.
Yeah. Really, you could go out, like, they've gotten a lot of bodies at receiver. Like, you can go out and get like one of these studs. I would think that you could go out and say, hey, we need to get a Billy Badass for Cutter. Let's go get a star. Let's make that one of our star players that we go after this year. Because the other side of it too is, like, you feel pretty good about Patterson and Dowdell coming back, wouldn't you? Right? Like, maybe you get another portal running back. Like, if you flip Carson Baker at the last minute, you aren't really starving and scrambling for one of those guys. So my overall point being is that, generally speaking, there is a traditional November momentum bump in play here with you're playing well with a lot of young guys who you expect to have back, and you can build around that. It's kind of nice. It's kind of, that's one thing about this year that does feel normal. Not a lot of things have felt normal, but that does feel somewhat normal. That you might not necessarily be able to bank on it fully, but I think you certainly can to a degree if they're able to finish this thing off the right way and end with 2 wins in their final 3 games.
Yeah, I would throw safety
Yeah,
in there.
you need
But
safety. Yeah, you're right.
corner, I would throw that.
Hell, but they're going to have everybody back at corner. If you feel good about them,
Yeah, maybe so.
you know.
But they're also getting a little trial period here with, Grant Godfrey. They've worked in all season, but now you get to see him for really at least 2 full games.
Yeah,
Like, do you feel good about him being a starter next year? You're going to get to see him potentially do it, so that would take away
probably.
a need.
I would imagine Antoine Smith would get a heavy workload on Saturday as well.
If things went well, but yeah.
Yeah,
So like there's some needs. Like you're going to lose a lot on the defensive line, potentially defensive tackle. So maybe like they're going to need a lot of a good amount of starters, but there's just a better core returning than last year.
yeah,
And so that is obviously a step in the right direction. And the 24 class is really carrying a lot of that.
yeah.
That weight.
Shout out to the 24 class.
So shout out to the 24 class, which by the rankings was a really, really good class. So they love the 24 class downstairs at KS Bar, let me tell you.
They really do. They really, really do.
But yeah, to your point, like things are in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
They have more of a foundation than they did. Where last year it was just a mess, for a lack of a better word.
Right. Because and we even mentioned on the football podcast on Monday when you're talking about the offensive line, it's like, oh, there's some pieces here that you'll like. It is part of the reason you want him to end well too is for some of those other guys who have been around for a while, like Josh Caddis and Jagger Burton, who, especially in Jagger, I mean, hell, both of them. Jagger more so than any received a lot of criticism in the middle of their careers, had flashy starts and then took some lumps, but now you're right back in it. So it's senior day is a little weirder now than what it was, because I want to say that my rough count right now is about 8 of these guys have only been here for a year. So yeah, man, I thought Cam Olds had more than 1 year. That's unfortunate. Thought he was to stick around a little longer.
They're in good shape at edge, though.
That's true. Yeah, between Green and Souls and Cowan now stepping up and playing well. So senior day, Tennessee Tech. Game is at 1:30 kickoff on the Plus, SEC Network Plus. Still don't have a line out there on BetMGM. Is that like a Friday afternoon thing, Luckett? The day before for FCS?
Typically, I think there's some early lines out there. I think I've saw 3 touchdowns, 21-22.
Wager at your own peril. We're going to talk about them in a second, but I did want to first ask you this question on it. Liberty Bowl, Mayo Bowl, Texas Bowl. Do you have a preference? I can tell you one I don't want to go.
I think mine would be the same. I do not want to do Houston. Are you ready to get in a car with me on Christmas night and drive to Houston?
I mean, the timing of it's the only one that's really close to Christmas. And then also, Houston objectively sucks. Like, I don't think Houston gets enough credit for being the worst big city in America. Because I want to say it's 4th in population, New York, LA, Chicago, Houston. And it just has no redeeming qualities to it whatsoever. And I know that we joke about it with KSR because we're always driving everywhere, but like you can't fly anywhere around the holidays with TSA and all that stuff going on. Like, good luck. So yeah, and NRG Stadium, it's just so big and empty. That feels like all of Houston, just big and empty. I don't know. No Houston for me. But some mayonnaise. The one I really want to go to is the Liberty Bowl, because that's the one box we haven't checked. I know it was Belk last time go around Luckett, but like I just want to go out and get drunk in Memphis on Beale Street, right? Like let's call a spade here. I want to taste of Beale Street.
Well, we would be going to Interstate Barbecue, and we would be donezo after that. That's one day. We got to go to Interstate Barbecue, eat some barbecue spaghetti, and call it a day. And then, yeah, Bill Street's fun. It's a good time. I went down there it's been 8 years since I've been there. But, yeah, I had a good time on Bill Street. They've got the local tin roof there where I'm sure Big Blue Nation would congregate. Probably the best tin roof I've ever been to is in Memphis, too,
Wow.
by the way.
Wow.
So,
really?
So good times, good. Like I had a lot of fun down there. That would be fun. Never been to Charlotte. I didn't get to go to the Lynn Bolden owns Bud Foster game. So yeah, either one of those. To me though, the Dukes because of the Mayo bath, right? Like that's on the line.
Man, Mark Stoops getting drenched in mayonnaise sounds. I mean, you want to talk about motivated.
we could also get, Liberty Bowl, or SEC Big 12 game.
See, that's part of it.
The winner gets the Wildcat logo. K-State, Kentucky. Winner gets to take the Wildcat logo home.
The other part of the Liberty Bowl, like Clemson's a projected opponent in Charlotte, and Charlotte was nice. Like everything was pretty centrally located there. The stadium was in walking distance, a lot of stuff. The Hornets were in town when we were there, but I don't know, just facing somebody different and then playing in that old stadium, like it'll feel a little bit nostalgic. And hell, I want to go listen to some music. Right? I want to go to Lonnie's old joint and listen to some blues. Right.
I also want Gabo to get the Mayo bath.
He would be such a dork about it. He would also, be the kid who's
and
slimed.
If North Carolina keeps winning,
Belichick versus Stoops.
Yeah, why not? And then even if I'm talking about for my own entertainment. Even Kentucky's not here. I want Belichick to win the Mayo Bowl. I want him to get mayonnaise dumped on him.
What? Can they go to a bowl? They need 2 wins. And
they're in the ACC. Everyone's bowl eligible.
So they go to Wake, they host Duke, and then at NC State. So 2 rivalry games in the last 3 weeks.
Well, 3 really. I mean, those are all in-state games. Not leaving the Tar Heel State here these next 3.
Do we count the Muppet as a rival?
I mean, Tobacco Road. They're all on Tobacco Road. All counts the same. It's like they're like high schools, just traveling around playing each other.
All right,
they could do that because like none of all these teams got 4 losses or more that they're playing. So it's not like, and their defense actually is playing like some legitimate football right now.
Can you name Wake Forest's basketball coach?
Yeah, Steve Forbes.
Okay,
he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I can't believe they've kept him around this long. Was he at East Tennessee State before?
He's the new Buzz Williams. Or not Buzz Williams. He's the new Seth Greenberg.
Yeah.
Like, they're not bad. They're on the bubble every year, but they never make the tournament. And it's always like, you don't want to be too hard on him because he's coaching at Wake Forest, but he's also had teams that should be making the tournament, and they haven't.
Yeah.
He's the new Seth Greenberg. And he'll be yelling at Kentucky fans in 10 years on ESPN.
Shaved head, raspy voice.
He's the new Seth Greenberg.
Oh, that you know what? If only he was putting butts in seats too. I don't know if he is, but you can get your butt in a seat with Game Time. Listen, Christmas is happening. Get tickets for Christmas, right? I know there's some guy in college out there right now who's got a girlfriend. He doesn't know what to get her. Get her a ticket to a comedy show at the Lexington Opera House, or get a concert. But don't get it too far in advance, right? Because I definitely had that. It was Eric Church at Rupp Arena, Luckett, where, oh, yeah, I got these concert tickets for you for Christmas, and then or maybe Valentine's Day or something. Then we broke up. Well, we still had to go together. So, that was good, clean fun. So, there are some negative consequences to it, but all of the positives are that you get tickets at a discounted rate and they go directly to your phone. They're very convenient. All of the fees are included, so you're not going to get surprised, right? So just go to Game Time, gametime.co online, or the Game Time app, swipe, tap, go, and use that promo code ON3. ON3. Use that promo code. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's promo code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Here's the other thing, too, Luckett. Christmas, let it come early. This is the great take your kids to the game. Should be nice, and it's during the day. There's sunshine out. I mean, great deals, zone deals, flash deals. Get on Game Time. $14 to get your butt in the seat, $25 in the end zone. You get to see the seat before your buy. So come on down to Kroger Field Saturday. The weather's going to be nice. Use promo code ON3 at gametime.co or download the Game Time app today and get you some tickets. Watch the cast, watch a comedy show, watch whatever it may be. Look at how many country concerts does your wife have lined up? Did you have to? Is there a country concert that she doesn't have a ticket to that you can get one for her for Christmas?
Give it time. Give it time.
All right. What was one thing I was going to talk about? We checked off that box. Tennessee Tech. All right. Let's discuss undefeated. You don't play too many undefeated teams in November. The thing that I think is the most striking part about them is that they're pretty balanced. I know the quarterback is exceptional, but like they run the ball well, and they aren't just. It's not just like a bell cow guy, right? Like it's two backs who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So the balance of this team makes it one that the way Jagger put it is like we've just got to treat this like an SEC game. I mean, there's really no other way. This is like another conference game. This is a good football team that does a lot of different stuff. They're very multiple, so we got to be ready to go out there and play ball.
Yeah, I mean, first off, 10-0. Nick this year, 7-0. They've been crushing teams. 15-game winning streak Tennessee Tech has, dating back to last year. Longest winning streak in the FCS. Kentucky can end another streak this week. They've been ending streaks every week. They can end another streak this week. One thing I do want to say about Tennessee Tech before I kind of give them their props. They've beaten one team with a winning record this year.
It's important to note.
They've played a very bad schedule. Now, to their credit, they've smashed most of these teams like they should, but they're in not a good conference, and they mauled over everyone, and they've played a bad schedule. And so props to them for kind of figuring it out, but I think that's important to know. Now, with that said, like they rank top of the chart in pretty much every statistic you want to find. They've scored 5 defensive touchdowns this year. Their offense, I believe, is ranks top 5 in both points per game, in yards per play. This quarterback they got, Kikoa Visparus, was a transfer from Eastern Washington. Mm-hmm. The concern with this game, Nick, to me, is he can run. 440 rushing yards this year on 5.7 yards per rush. Yeah. He's accounted for 25 total touchdowns. Kentucky, probably their biggest weakness, I would say, defensively has been QB run. So can they, get that honed in? Their 2 tailbacks have combined for over 1,100 rushing yards on over 7 yards per carry, 19 total touchdowns between the 2 of them. And then defensively, 90 tackles for loss in 10 games. They're only allowing 4 yards per play, which is number 2 in the FCS. Third down conversion rate under 30%, number 4. Only allowing 15-point games, number 4. And then, the Havoc stats are just outrageous. Their linebacker is probably their best player. Just won his conference defense player of the week. They're on game, 71 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 25 pressures. No one scored more than 21 points against this group this year. They've got a defensive coordinator, Chase Mumau, who 2 years ago was a graduate assistant at Wake Forest. So this is a guy in his 20s, calling one of the best defenses in the FCS. So he's probably a name to watch moving forward. And then Bobby Wilder, who's their head coach, Nick, started Old Dominion football back in 06. Recruited for 2 years, then built it up. They won 10 games not too long ago. At Old Dominion when they were in Conference USA at the time. And then things kind of went backwards on him. He retired, but he won and built a program at ODU. So now he's resurfaced at Tennessee Tech, and they're gonna make the playoffs for the first time since 2011. And this has been a program losing. I think they got an all-time losing record. It's really not had much good happen for them. I believe Marcus Satterfield was actually the head coach here at one time. One of Nick's favorite offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
And it did not go well for him there at Tennessee Tech. So he's doing stuff that no one's ever done at Tennessee Tech. And they're playing really good ball right now. They covered twice last year in bye games against Middle Tennessee and against Georgia. So they're having a good year, but it's a team when you kind of look at them, it's a team Kentucky should handle. RPO heavy offense, 11 personnel, 4-2-5 defense, a lot of movement, will stunt a ton. It's hunting for explosive plays. So offensively, if you get it blocked up, there should be a chance for explosives for Kentucky. And then defensively, it's just matching the RPO stuff and defending it. But that's something Kentucky has struggled with, I think, this year. They're going to kind of attack Kentucky where Kentucky's have their biggest weaknesses. So to me, that's the most interesting part of this game is just how Kentucky's defense matches up with them. Because, I mean, if I was going to comp them to the offense, I would almost comp them to kind of how Ole Miss operates.
That's not ideal.
And then how Eastern Michigan played a little bit. If you remember how Eastern Michigan played.
That quarterback Kasparis kind of reminds me of Eastern Michigan's guy. And he played well. He played well in that game. I was looking up some famous, I got distracted looking at famous alumni and also where Marcus Satterfield is now. I don't think he's anywhere.
I think he's still in Nebraska.
Tight ends coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he just got demoted.
Yeah. You don't see that very often anymore. We got an astronaut from Tennessee Tech, Roger Crouch. Shout out, went on some missions in the 90s. Still kicking at 85. Ryan Denick. Remember that Cincinnati Red?
I do not. That doesn't ring bells, but I'm sure he was a great Red.
Oh, yeah. He did not last very long. Probably in Louisville more than he was in Cincinnati back in 2014. That was like the Willie Mo Pena era. Actually, no, Willie Mo is older than that. Willie Mo's a lot older than that. Rodney Atkins. I like me some Rodney Atkins. The Buckaroo. That's
Buckaroo. That's what I know him for. Rodney Buckaroo Atkins.
Dude, he did.
These are my people.
Yeah, that one's a good one. There was one about take the back road. There we go. I would always say put a little crapper in my tractor instead of gravel in my travel. It just sounded more fun. He was a big tight jeans guy. Like did a concert at 4th Street, and that guy, he was just living life, right? He was having a good time. He wasn't taking anything too serious. Just maybe some bedazzled on the jeans. Long story short, he was fitting in well at 4th Street, right? He was home.
Yeah, that was back with the guy. Was it Guy Hardy? The T-shirts, that the Jersey Shore guys wore. Ed Hardy T-shirts. Yeah.
Oh, he had the "If You're Going Through Hell."
Yes, that was his big song.
Yeah. But yeah, there we go. There's our most famous. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to name any of these other guys. Frank Omiyale, like some offensive tackle for the Seahawks. Yeah. No. Tennessee Tech, not a lot of famous alumni. But, Dottie West? You ever jam out to Dottie West, her 70s country music tunes?
Yeah. Can't say I'm familiar with Dottie's game.
Scott Stallings, that guy, PGA golfer? Don't we know him?
Yeah. He's you see him on like T23 randomly some places. Yeah.
He's the guy that when you're putting your groups together at the end, you're like, is he any good? Like, can I take a swing at him? And then you do, and then you regret it. But hey, you know what? Good for you. 13 years on the tour. Hey, if only. Man, he's a local guy too, Oak Ridge High School. Shout out to the TVA, right?
Derek Rogers, former Tennessee Vol, ended up at Tennessee Tech. He was a big recruit for Tennessee. I think he got in trouble, and he had to go to Tennessee Tech. I'm going through this list now. That's about it. You've hit on all the other ones. Jim Youngblood sounds like a badass. Play linebacker for the Rams and the Redskins.
See, the more you know. The more you know. Look at us diving into Tennessee Tech history. Maybe we should dive into a little bit of Cutter Boley, a little bit of quarterback play. Why not, Mr. Luckett? Why the
Yeah,
heck
let's do it.
not? So Cutter's pretty awesome at football. I
Yeah.
pulled the numbers from his last 3 home games. They're pretty good. They're
Yeah.
pretty good. Give me 1 second. I will have them right here. Oh no. Okay. He's got 7 touchdowns over the last 3 games. So that does include the Tennessee game. He's completing 77.3% of his passes for 756 yards. That's 250 a game. The stat that leads dropped on the call-in show on Monday. Boley 68% on third down. That'll do it, right? I think the only other guy who's higher only had 5 attempts. So Cutter, it's not only spinning it, he's spinning it in clutch situations. And I can't say enough positive things about him. I think obviously a part of it's the scheme, and Bush Hamden gave Kevin Barbay a lot of credit, the offensive analyst. I know people give Mike Hartline a lot of credit too, but for me, I think just the biggest difference between Cutter and a lot of some of the other guys that we've seen come through here is it's all between the years, man. It's all between the years with these guys. Like, not only can you be smart enough to play the position, can you be confident enough to play the position, but also not too confident that, like, you read all your clippings and you get worried about what other people think about you. Like, you kind of have to have a team NF, and just not give a rat's ass. And he's got that, man. He's good at blocking out the noise. He's good at getting back up after he's got knocked down. And you know what? He's pretty good at going when he needs to go and tucking and running. He's a pretty damn good athlete. So far, Cutter Boley, he's been the complete package for Kentucky, and it's just stacking them on top of another. Just keep on stacking them, Luckett, because this is we always saw the potential when we go to those camps and see him throw. I don't think I expected it to happen this quickly, and also in this manner where Kentucky's willing to get a little air raidy, if you will.
What do you think Kevin Barbay told Bush Hamden?
I want to know, man. Bush wouldn't share. He was like, I wonder if it was just like, well, throw the damn ball, right? Or let it rip.
Was it the kiss method? Keep it simple, stupid. Like, do we just need to like? We just need to. Let's just make this as elementary as possible. I would be interested to see what he said, because they have. I think you've got to really credit Bush a lot with all of this, kind of crafting an offense and kind of sticking to it. I thought in the game on Saturday, Nick, I thought they were like a little borderline reckless in some of the 2 minute or some of the stuff in the middle 8 at the end. Like, but that was kind of how they called the game. They were just really aggressive. Like, the sideline shot when you have 2 timeouts left in 10 seconds, when you need 10 yards to get into field goal range, I was like, just throw the ball in the middle or run it, take a middle completion, call timeout, get in range. Like, that's something I don't know why you're trying to score there. Like, they're playing the deep ball and they're playing the sideline. They're not going to let you score. So I didn't really understand that, but I have to give them some credit because they went for it, and they took their swings, they mixed in tempo, so they did a lot of good things. And to your point on Cutter, like, you're right. Like, you have to getting back to the reckless word, you got to be a little reckless in some ways. Like, you've got to be willing to let it rip. You've got to be willing to make some gutsy calls in an instant, but you also have to toe the line of, I need to do this. It's got to be here, and there. And it's not as simple. Now with Cutter, I think one thing he needs to work on is some of the turnover-worthy plays.
Yes.
The pass to Kendrick Law, where it was high, where people thought Kendrick Law got late hit. I believe that was in the first quarter. That was a dangerous That was a dangerous throw. The 2 turnovers there just can't happen. But he bounces back from these plays, even against Auburn. Like he bounces back always. Even after the 2 turnovers, they have the middle 8 drive. And even his numbers you mentioned, 18 to 23, 168, they stopped throwing the ball with 11 minutes left in the third quarter.
You could tell when Stoops talked this week that he's a little agitated by it. Like, damn, I thought we had some better numbers for him before we called off the Dogs. But that's because they didn't have any other possessions. I think they had one more. And
to me,
a 65-yard run just like that, you know?
To me, if you sat down and just had a casual conversation with Mark Stoops and you started peeling back the layers about what he wants in a football team, that is the offense he wants.
Yeah.
Run for 200 yards, ball control, but also be able to pass it and to be able to have the pass game jumpstart you. And the Cutter thing, like the biggest impact he's had on the offense to me is just it's not dead meat, game over when it's 3rd and 7 or greater.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can convert 3rd and 7s now. And like you've seen that. The touchdown drive at Auburn, he converted 2 of them. And then the TKO drive, start the third quarter, converted 2 3rd and longs to get that thing started. And then, they made Florida quit to me. If you're just putting it in as simple as terms possible. They wanted no part of that game after that. The game was over after he converted those 2 3rd longs, one by scramble, and then one on a out to Kendrick Law. And things are just working, and they have rhythm. And Cutter's playing with confidence, but the team,
yes,
it's playing. It's seeped into the defense. It's not just on offense too. Like the defense, they can feel it, and they're talking about it now. And that's really exciting for the program. We've talked about this. Like, this is what it looks like. Kentucky just didn't know what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you have a young quarterback that you can really get behind, that can rally the team, can rally everyone, and can grow, and you can grow with him. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And now Kentucky's got a chance to do it.
To your point, that the dagger drive, we haven't seen Kentucky run the ball like that this year. I mean, they have at times, but just move the hell out of the way. We're coming through. That was something we really hadn't seen yet this year. And that doesn't happen if they don't feel it, right? And they don't know it. And they delivered. It was a hell of a drive, hell of an impressive drive. A salute to them, salute to the Big Boley Wall, salute to John Schlarman. 5 years ago today, he passed away. Great American, arguably the greatest representative of this football program. Played here, coached here, grit his teeth here, set the foundation of the Stoops era in the trenches. So salute to him. 5 years ago today, we lost him, which seems crazy that it's that long ago, honestly. The offensive line got a little rocky there, but, man, they're playing some quality football. They're taking care of that quarterback. I actually want to look that up really quick because it doesn't even – a lot of sack avoidance can be attributed to just the quarterback being shifty, being able to be really elusive out of the pocket. Like Devin Leary is really good at that. But I think the offensive line in general has just done a pretty darn good job, period. 20 sacks this year. So about 2 a game. And it's right in the middle of the road in the SEC. So,
yeah, I thought Shiaz Pete probably played his best game at Kentucky on Saturday, Nick. Really made a really positive impact in the run game. They're doing some unbalanced stuff. I'm breaking this down over at KSR Plus, but they're coming up with new run game wrinkles every week that are really finding some success. We've seen the direct snap. They started at Auburn, and then they ran it a little different here. They did it out of unbalance, out of kind of a full house set. They're just doing some different stuff in the run game, and they're finding some success. And they're great. I thought Kentucky really just leaned on them. Josh Braun was outstanding in the game on Saturday. And then Jalen Farmer and Jagger Burton and Alex Wolfschlager, to me, they just been rock solid really all season. Wolfschlager's probably a guy we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Like, right tackle has just been – you haven't had to worry about it all year.
No.
Like, he's having a really good season. Kentucky's getting everything they hoped and probably more there at right tackle.
It's been impressive. It's been impressive. So you got to commend them. You got to salute them. But you know what? You're probably tired of hearing from us, right? I mean, you get to hear from us all the time. You're here walking on the pregame show Saturday. We're on doing our YouTubes all the time. Yeah, why don't you hear from a Kentucky quarterback now? You got that ready, by the way? Is that good to go? I hope it's good to go. Because
we're good. We're good. We can rock it. Yep.
Andre Woodson, he broke records at his time at Kentucky. It's funny you mentioned the turnover-worthy plays, Luckett, because at one point he does mention that. It's like, you know who was pretty good at not turning the ball over? Andre Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
It was the NCAA record for a while for most consecutive passes without an interception.
I want to say Derek Carr broke it when he was at Fresno State.
Yeah, and I think a South Carolina quarterback broke it a couple years back because I remember getting very irritated by it. It broke his SEC record because that still stood for a while. But nevertheless, Woodson, he lit it up from 04. 05, he played a little in 04, but 05 was his first year starter. It was ugly. They took some lumps that year, and they were able to turn around in 06, 07. So some of those parallels match up with what Cutter Boley's going through now. So Andre Woodson, he's going to talk to us about how he's lending a hand with Cutter Boley, how he's developed a relationship with him, and what he believes next is for the Kentucky quarterback. Nick Roush here. Happy to be joined today by Kentucky football great. No. We're gonna say legend. A guy with a bunch of passing records in that UK record book. It's Andre Woodson. Andre, thanks for hanging out with us today. First off, just how are you? I'm sure people are curious. What have you been up to? I know you were on the sidelines coaching for a little bit, but how are things going for you?
Things are going well. I've been at Amazon with corporate communications now over 11 years. Wearing multiple hats, supported with crisis management, public relations, community relations, you name it, I've been doing it. And so it's been an interesting journey, but it's been fun nevertheless. And so, yeah, things are going well.
In Lexington base?
Is that right? Southern Indiana, so like 10 minutes across the bridge from Louisville.
Okay, all right. So, never too far from Kroger Field.
Right. That's right.
So I heard, it's through the grapevine. There's people said that you and Cutter Boley have been kind of in touch throughout this season as the redshirt freshman has made progress as the starting quarterback for the Cats. Just how did that relationship start?
Yeah, well, I actually spoke with Stoops after the South Carolina game, Cutter's first SEC start, and thought about the similarities between our first starts. Mine was against undefeated Auburn Tigers in 04 with Cadillac Williams, Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown, and that stellar defense. And they should have won the national championship that season. But, I basically started on the road in a hostile environment against what, should have been the eventual national champions. And, it's not the best way to ease your young quarterback into his first collegiate start. But I thought, Cutter had the same experience, right? Very similar, tough outcome, but he played, tough and competed. And I thought, if anyone could help him understand that this is part of the process and, playing at a high level against, the very best talent, typically takes time, and maybe some words of encouragement and insight could help his development. So it was clear he has all the tools and he's going to be a special player, but it always helps for someone who's kind of, been in the same predicament to provide some positive reinforcement. And I thought that was, it was helpful, at least from his perspective, to hear from someone who's played at UK.
Yeah, the game at South Carolina you had too, that they were kind of similar where the defense is just like, can the other defense quit scoring touchdowns, right? Like that one came to mind too. That loss haunts me. I don't know about you or not, but I hated that one so much.
Yeah, it was a tough one. It's hard to not think of that one when you consider some of them, some of the games that got away from us and which could have been, and it's unfortunate, but I guess that's the nature of playing in SEC, right? You're playing against, playing really high stakes against incredible talent and really hostile environments. And, it's really hard to predict what the outcome will look like. But, that's why you sign up to play in, this incredible atmosphere against hundreds of thousands of fans who are cheering against you. So pretty cool.
So what exactly was, you kind of alluded to, but what was the message to Cutter, and just how did he take it? I mean, for a lot of people, it's like it felt like just yesterday you were throwing the ball around the yard to Jacob Tammy and Stevie Johnson, but he's like, who's this old guy, right? Like, he was barely born when you're around. So what was that conversation like?
Yeah, I kind of eased my way into it. I was like, hey, Cutter, I left the voicemail. This is Andre Woodson, former Kentucky quarterback. I don't know if you're familiar with, my background, but, I'd love to just get in touch with you and chat a little bit. And I mean, Cutter responded within maybe a couple minutes, and he sounded really eager to touch base and hear from me. And he apparently knew exactly who I was. And, the thing about Cutter is, I love his optimism, tenacity, and composure. And he plays the game like a vet, but, still shows signs of an ultra competitor while, there are some inconsistency. And a lot of that's just from being a young player, right? And and I thought it was really interesting to hear from his perspective of, ways he felt like he can improve or how he can approach the game. And he has tons of respect and appreciation for what I did. And I thought it was a very invaluable conversation from that point of view, because, it allowed him to understand, like, hey, I got a long way to go. And even though there's going to be some ups and downs and, trials and tribulations, there's a lot to navigate with nuances of playing this position at a high level. But, again, he was just really thankful and showed a lot of gratitude to hearing from me. And again, I think he has all the tools and intangibles to be a special player at UK.
So how, you didn't just step right into bowl games, right? I mean, it was pretty rough there at the beginning. So yeah. So like, what are those, what kind of did you learn from those losses to be able to push through to the other side? And what have you kind of seen from Cutter to kind of be able to do it in a much smaller sample size?
Well, yeah, I think, priority one is don't focus on the external, chatter or noise, right? Like, you have to continue to focus on what you're good at. And also have to remember, that this season is still progressing, right? And Cutter is getting a stronger feel for the game, both mentally and physically. He's building a routine to prepare for upcoming opponents. He's better understanding how to break down game footage and identify tendencies and vulnerabilities in defensive secondaries. And all of those things take time. But the expectation is he needs to play at a high level. And not only is he doing that as a freshman, he's sort of resetting the standard for playing quarterback at UK. And so I'm proud of the young man. And that's just a part of the game, right? The evolution of the game. Like, it's going to take time. So you don't need to add the additional pressure on yourself. I think it's inevitable, but, as a young player, specifically playing the quarterback position, just understand, like, hey, these are things that I'm going to continue to, focus on, and what are my takeaways, and then how can I continue to develop and improve in those particular areas. And I think he's doing a fabulous job of that so far.
It really, I mean, you can only take so much from sort of post-game interviews and that sort of deal, but he really does, the way he carries himself. He seems unfazed by adversity. There just seems to be a confidence there. And I don't think you can play the quarterback position if you aren't confident.
You certainly have to be confident. You have to have tons of composure. And you have to have a really short memory because of, the turnovers and sometimes the, misplays. But also, you have to be a very vocal and present leader. And I think he does that in his own way, right? Sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's evident. But he's done, from my viewpoint, he's done a masterful job of building camaraderie and chemistry with the team and leading charge. And you can tell the guys are very receptive to him out on the field. Sometimes he looks like he's a madman when he's running around there and just trying to make a play or extend, a play. But on the other hand, like, he's very meticulous and methodical when he's going down the field with decision making and get into the players' hands who can be playmakers in the open field. And so I think from that regard, it's been really impressive to watch him. And again, you have to remind yourself, he's just a redshirt freshman, and he's gonna need more time to continue to develop and turn into this player who we envision him to be. But so far, he's done a really nice job of embracing all these factors and trying to play at a high level on the football field on Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, especially when there's just so much pressure that comes in the job. Yeah. I mean,
just a smidge. Yeah.
And being a kid from Kentucky too, I'm sure that amplifies that. Did you ever feel that at all? That like the fans are really begging or wanting more from you because you are a Kentucky kid playing quarterback for the University of Kentucky?
You feel the pressure. I can imagine it's only elevated to a different level now with social media and the fact that fans, can get to you with direct access. So I imagine now it's probably triple, but yeah, even then, as a Kentucky native, or at least, from the area when I was recruited to Kentucky, you understand the stakes and what's at large. And I really tried to compete and leave, my legacy, but understanding every game is, a tough fight, and it's a big opportunity. And considering all the things, all the obstacles we had to overcome with, with scholarship restrictions and recruiting violations and all those things that happened prior to Coach Brooks getting there, and sort of my senior class was like the foundational block to really get the program to the levels that it's at now. It was really fascinating. But there's tons of pressures playing at the position of quarterback, and rightfully so. I mean, it's you're a high visible player. You're sort of the marquee guy to make all the decisions and really get the plays or put players in a position to be successful on the football field.
So how are you still in touch with him? And hell, are you in touch at all with his coach, your old guy, Mike Hartline? You all chat?
Yeah, I'm in touch with Mike. We chat all the time. Mike's an incredible guy. I'm so glad he's there as an analyst, and he's very hands-on with Cutter. And so apparently they have an incredible relationship, and which, that's amazing to hear because Mike's really special. And I was just talking to Cutter not too long ago, and I let him know that for some reason, people now think that I've had some sort of impact in the way that he's performing. And of course, that's not the case because he's clearly a stud. I mean, you could see what he did in the high school level prior to getting to Kentucky. And but I think it's pretty cool to see, again, his evolution and how he's slowly progressing to be a player that is going to, really reshift the trajectory of the program as long as he stays healthy and learns the position and continues to approach it professionally, which I think he's going to do. And he certainly has all the ability to do that in a really great way.
So what is the sort of next step that Cutter can take? And does that next step include breaking some Andre Woodson records? I know the Tennessee game we had, it was the first most touchdown passes in a game since you were slinging them around, I think, against Georgia. So what's the next step he's going to take to elevate his game?
I literally just told him that. I was like, "Hey man, you gotta take it easy here. I mean, you're making us old timers, look bad. I mean, he's breaking these records at this rapid pace. I mean, there will be nothing left." But no, he's for Cutter, I think probably the biggest thing right now is just continuing to have a foundation understanding of what they're trying to accomplish offensively, having a really strong presence in the locker room, and just really commanding the offense when the opportunity presents itself. I think not forcing the ball downfield, and those are tendencies that he'll have to overcome over time, right? Some of it's repetition, some of it's just getting seasoned into the role, and then some of it's just basic understanding. But I think, the bigger picture will be for him to take the next step, and that's just, having a greater understanding or fundamental understanding of the system and what they're trying to accomplish week in and week out. And then from there, not creating, takeaways or, negative plays that put them in a position where now it's, they're not able to change the field advantage or, what's putting their team in a detriment. So I think as long as, he's really focused on those things and just continuing to improve on his understanding of the system and what they're trying to accomplish. I think, again, skies could be the limit for him.
Taking care of the ball, spoken like somebody who had, I don't know, 500 straight passes without a pick, something like that. Andre, I appreciate you joining us today, hanging out, chatting a little with Cutter Boley. Before I let you go, I got to ask a Glory Days question. I'm sure you get asked about the big games all the time, right? All the big wins. What's your favorite throw? Right, like the one pass where you're like, "Oh man, that it doesn't get any better than that."
Probably, Stevie got loose against Louisville. I'm asked this question all the time, like, how did Louisville get in sort of this false coverage? And it's actually a pretty long story. I don't know if we have time for it.
But we got plenty of time. We got all the time as long as you want to give it.
We're running a basic concept with a seam and a vertical on the outside. So seam by the slot receiver and then a vertical on the outside. And we ran this 3 times that game. We actually missed Stevie like 2 or 3 plays for halftime. We ran the same exact concept. And the scheme is basically to put stress on the secondary, the safety in particular, if there's a too high look. And so he basically has to make a decision. Either he's going to collapse and attack the seam route, or he's going to stay out wide and take the vertical away. And in this case, Tammy was actually running the seam route. And so he collapsed on Tammy, and then I had a chance to throw Stevie a vertical down the sideline. And this was about a 40-yard pass and probably missed. I mean, it hit Stevie on his fingertips, but he didn't manage to pull it in. And this was like 2 seconds before halftime. I think we ended up either kicking a field goal or we missed the field goal. I don't recall. And then almost 3 plays before that, we caught it again. But this time the safety stayed really wide. And I tried to hit Tammy, and we just missed to convert. And then as we went back to the play again, this time I was able to bait the safety to come after Tammy. And because of that, Stevie was wide open on the sideline. And I'm thinking in my head the entire time as I'm throwing it, like, don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball. And Stevie obviously did the rest by getting in the end zone. But that's probably one of my most fondest mememories or passes at playing in Kentucky.
I mean, the crowd pop, legendary. Like I especially love when they pay into the sideline afterwards. And I think it's like a manager, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was a pretty surreal moment for sure.
Oh man, great moments, great memories with Andre Woodson. Andre, thanks so much for all you did at UK, and also for helping Cutter, because it's been a lot of fun. And hell, we might be seeing the Cats in the postseason if he keeps on doing what he's doing.
Listen, I'm super excited for him and what the program could potentially do in the future. So here's the good things coming.